And practiced out of the Saints indoor facility out in Metairie. We're always very appreciative of the Saints allowing us to go out there and had a great practice. You know, it's nice and cool, 72 degrees, and did some team periods. We worked a little escape period on punt block, punt return unit, and then we worked some kickoff return. Did some 7-on-7, some 1-on-1. You know, a little inside period. We call it two spot here, and it was good. It was good practice. I thought we got a lot out of it today.
Watching the tapes from the scrimmage, what were your overall thoughts on it? And yeah.
I thought for a first scrimmage, I thought our guys tackled pretty well. Usually the first scrimmage it gets a little sloppy. The guys did a nice job with their approach to tackling and maintaining the leverage and using their arms to tackle. A lot of times defensive guys, particularly in that first scrimmage, they think they're an offensive player and they're blocking guys instead of tackling. So that was probably the #1 takeaway for me.
It seemed like JoJo had a lot of success too. I mean, what about, I know he's kind of undersized for your average defensive lineman, but what about that build gives him an advantage?
Well, he's got built-in leverage. You know, he's always, I talk all the time about playing with your eyes at throat level of your opponent. So you're playing with leverage and you gotta sink your hips. He's already there most of the time. He does a great job of contorting his body and getting skinny and then he's got great explosion. You know, from here to there, he's really fast and quick.
He was a guy who was pretty productive at Memphis for a long time.
Yeah.
How did that whole process go when he decided? I mean, obviously.
Well, his mom's from here.
Originally.
He lived here until Katrina, and then he moved to Houston. He wanted to come back home and play his last year here. And after he got in the portal, he contacted us, and he came on over this way. There really wasn't much recruiting. That's where he wanted to be, so he could be close to home.
Was defensive line maybe an area you guys wanted to address, whether it be recruiting out of high school or the portal?
Yeah, we're always want to have probably going to over-recruit a little bit on the offensive defensive line. Just so hard to really project guys, and it usually takes a little bit longer, particularly with the offensive linemen, to develop. But I thought we've got a good group of defensive linemen right now. We've got some big guys, but we'll always take a great player if we can get him.
The super seniors that came back for this year, for their COVID year, I mean, you had said ahead of time that had to be their decision. You weren't. Just how did you approach that whole process? And you got 7 that were already on the team that are back this year.
I stayed out of it and just waited a while. It was a long season last year, and it was a stressful season with the COVID protocol we had to follow. And I just kind of waited till the season got over. They came back in January, and a bunch of guys felt great about it. It had to be their decision. It wasn't going to work if it wasn't their decision. Most all those guys have already graduated. Some of the guys have timed it up where they're maybe only taking 3 hours in the fall. Other guys are getting their master's degree. I think a couple of guys are getting their MBA in December. They'll be finished with that. So, it's a great advantage for them to academically, professionally, when they get a job, having this extra degree. And then also, some of them want to show that they can play at the next level, and they wanted to get a little more tape out there. So it was, it's great to have them back. It's, I think in 15, 20 years, they're going to be very happy they did it. You only got a small window to play football, and they all got themselves an extra year to do that.
Were you able to catch any of the preseason games?
Saw a little bit of the Saints game. I watched Christian Montano. Jalen McCleskey's, I think he's injured right now with the Saints, but I watched Christian, and he played there at the end. I just happened to watch him a little bit. Then I saw some highlights. One of our coaches, one of our sports staff guys put together, all the guys who played, and I saw Patrick Johnson made some plays, a big sack by Cam Sample at the end of the ball game. Darius Bradwell had a touchdown. There were some other guys I know that played as well that did some good stuff too. So it's always fun to watch those guys at that next level play. I'm sure our guys have talked to some of them, since that game and visited with them a little bit as well.
Anything else?
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.